Hi, good morning. Another minute to go and we'll begin.
Oh, you do? Okay.
Hi, let's begin now. Good morning, everyone. A very warm welcome to day two of Global Learning Odyssey 2025. So, our education's first ever international summit, a celebration of innovation, inclusion, and inspiration in K to 5 education. Let me introduce myself. I'm Shafali Juneja, Head Training and Growth at SAR Education. For the past 4 years, we've had the honor of leading webinars, curating professional development series, and engaging in rich, meaningful conversations with educators across India and abroad. What began as a passion to uplift classroom practices has now evolved into something far bigger, and GLOW is that jointly a global platform to connect hearts, minds, and voices dedicated to reimagining learning together. And truly, some days leave you speechless. Yesterday was one of them. The energy and the engagement we witnessed in day one was simply phenomenal. With 6 insightful sessions on professional development, your enthusiasm and thoughtful participation made the day unforgettable. What? Before we begin, let me share a few session norms. Everyone will be kept on mute to ensure a smooth experience without interruptions. Turning on your camera is encouraged. It helps create a more interactive and engaging space. Please use the chat box to share your thoughts, reflections, and questions during the session. If you face any technical issues, feel free to message our support team in the chat box. We are here to help. And now it's time to start the tone of the day with a topic that is fast becoming one of the most transformative forces in education. AI is not just a buzzword anymore. It's becoming an everyday companion in lesson planning, assessments, and personalized learning. And most important, AI isn't here to replace teachers. It's here to empower us, to focus more on what we want to do best: inspire, nurture, and lead. To guide us through this important conversation, we are honored to welcome an educational innovator, Mr. Willie Broad George. Willie Broad runs a group of affordable private schools near Mumbai, where he has built scalable student led, tech enabled systems that ensure every child, regardless of backgrounds, gets an equal shot at success. His initiatives, from Project Breakthrough and Project Rise to Project DDA World Class and Spirit, are shaping how students and teachers experience school. Nationally recognized as an innovative school leader by the Advait Foundation and awarded by Mr. Narayana Murthy, co-founder of Infosys, Willie Broad continues to push the boundaries of what's possible in education. So get ready to explore, learn, and be inspired. Please join me in welcoming Willie Broad George. Over to you.
Good morning, everybody. I am so thrilled to be here Sunday. You guys have come here on a Sunday, and that just shows your commitment and your deep drive and desire to learn. I just want to make sure that I am heard really clearly, and you can see me, and you can hear me very clearly. So it's super exciting always to meet principals, to meet teachers and educators, and even parents, especially in today's time, in education, because there's so much changing, and we really in many cases we really don't have a clue on what's changing. And you see, a lot of people are asked questions such as, how do you see the future of education change? What do you think is going to come next, and what do you think is, are teachers going to be replaced, and things like that. And what you eventually start thinking or noticing or realizing is it's impossible for us to look at what the future is. It's impossible for us to make all these predictions, because Jeff Bezos was asked a question in one of the podcasts that I was listening to, and he said, I can't make a prediction of what the future is, because I may tell you 10 things and 2 out of those things may work, and then you may say, oh my God, Jeff Bezos is like this amazing visionary. He's a futurist, and he can tell you, what's going to change in the world. But 8 out of those things bombed, right? And no one really knows that. So in such a VUCA world, and I'm sure you've heard that so many times, in such a VUCA world, how do we as educators navigate the time? How do we as educators get out there and work on things that have long-term stability, right? Because what educators really like is to work on something over time. And if that opportunity is not available, then most of the time educators don't even try, because they're like, I want to make sure that this child does well in life. That's such a delayed gratification. And so, just to take a cue back from Jeff Bezos' talk, he said, why not focus on what people will always want? Why not focus on the first principles? And when you think about that, and you think about the first principles, you start realizing that no matter what happens in education, right? No matter what happens in education, people will always want, personalization. People will always want their children to get better quality education. People will always want their children to learn better, learn faster. People will always want their children to grow into, wonderful human beings, right? People will always want personalized attention for their children, and more personalized attention for their children. So these are those first principles that we need to always hold in our hands. And from Jeff Bezos' example, he said, Amazon may shut tomorrow, right? Because of quick commerce and all these things. But what people will always want is quick customer service, quick turnaround time. They would always want somebody to help them decide on what they need to buy. And so even if Amazon currently shuts down the way Amazon is designed and built, like an online e-commerce store, they will still exist as a company that will ensure that most, that customers receive that quality of service. And what does that mean? That means even if schools shut down, the way it is designed right now, maybe 30 years or 50 years or 100 years from now, right, there will still be the need for children to find adults who are inspiring and motivating and things like that. So I just hope that sets the context for today's session. And I do most of my work is around workshops. Like I do intense workshops, 2-day workshops, 3-day workshops, and bringing things down into an hour is really a challenge. And I've been very thrilled to work on that challenge. I wanted to quickly show you a PPT, a QR code, and this is because we've set up a WhatsApp group for this particular session. And in that WhatsApp group, if you're able to join this group, it'll be brilliant. In this group, we will start sharing our work. So it's not just going to be me talking, but it's also you doing stuff, and then the things that you do, you can share on this WhatsApp group, because I noticed that there's no place for you to share. If I'm asking you to show me something, you cannot show me. So that maybe the WhatsApp group can be that place. Feel free to do that if you wish to. If you don't, it's absolutely fine. But I noticed that about 28 members have joined this group so far, and we are about 30. So I'm not going to wait for everyone to do it. I'm just saying, if you feel like joining this group, then please do. And what we're going to do is I'm going to show you some quick tips and tricks that you can do with AI. So, with Mr. Abhishek Goyal's permission and, with Shefali, I was thinking maybe this 1 hour, if you can get some hands-on work, that'll be also great, right? I mean, because that way, at least you're in a position to try out some new stuff. And if you're able to get some success in the room, that'll be really nice. And I'm just waiting for a couple of more people to pop in. And what I can do in the meanwhile is maybe put it out for those of you who probably don't have their phones ready. I might be able to probably put the link of the group out, and that might allow you to click from your computer as well. Let me see if that is a possibility. Yes, it is. I've put it in the chat, and you should be able to see it in the chat right now. And let me just give you like a minute to do that.
There's a light that leads and makes us whole, guiding our minds. Twists and turns with every lesson. The fire still burns, past me to far and wide. Stand as one with love as our guide. With the eyes outside, vision high. Empowering dreams touch the sky. From the principle who believes so true. From the teacher, the dreamer in you. They rise together, hand in hand. Through the futures across the land. They are the world, baby. Children today, the light learning just will soar, building futures across the land. Passion with wisdom, we always strive to bring out the best in every child's life. In every question, in every why, we teach them courage. We should reach and fly from the chalkboard days to the digital space. We gather forward with love and grace. Way I will strong, come tools in hand.
All right, brilliant. Thank you for doing that. And we have a couple of people in the group right now, and that would really help me show you some new tips and some new tricks. So I also have a presentation for you, and I have designed this presentation in a way that will help you actually, let me just bring that up. Hang on. Okay. I've also built this presentation in a way that I can send it to you later, so that is something that allows you to actually, it's like your notes, it's like your handout, okay? So I hope that you'll understand that. There is this saying in AI, that in technology, that teachers will not be replaced by technology, but teachers who know technology and use technology shall be replaced. Shall be the one replacing the other teachers. Now, that is something that you have heard a lot before, and this is very true with AI. And I hope that by the end of this session, you get an understanding of why that is possibly even true. So you need to understand that there are 4 powers that generative AI has. I don't want to get into what is generative AI, deep learning, machine learning, this. I don't want to get into all that, because really we don't really need to get into the technology of how AI really works. But what we really need to do is to understand how we can use it in our life. None of you know how GPay works. None of you know how a QR code works. None of you know how UPI works, but we still use it every single day. And that is what I would like all of us to, I invite all of us to think from a technological mindset point of view. Always asking the question, is there a better way to do it? Is there a tech way to do it? Because it is a mindset shift, and that is what we need to look at. So really there are 3 or 4 different ways that we can start using AI, and you need to understand that what are those different ways. One of the ways that you can use AI is called text to text, right? Text to text. You're able to take text and you're able to convert that text into another text. Make a new CV for me. That's text. And then the other text that comes out is like a text format. So text to text, and we will do some examples on text to text. The next possibility of AI is called text to image. Text to image, which means you're able to take text and you're able to create an image out of that, right? That is brilliant, because earlier, before this was a possibility, you needed a photographer, you needed a designer, you needed some other equipment that actually takes the photograph, right? So generative AI is able to generate an image from just a text, and a text is literally like a wish. So your wish is my command, that kind of thing. There's also text to audio. Yes, you're able to give some text to a computer or to the AI, and you're going to say, I want this output to be an audio file. So you're able to create an audio, that means text to audio, which actually meant before generative AI, the way people were doing that was actually recording. They were singing, they were recording, they were doing voiceovers, they were doing all that. It was not possible to generate audio from text. That means I am typing in my computer, write a song and sing it for me. Enter. There's nobody in the background who's like immediately taking that song, writing it for you, or singing it and recording and giving it to you. That usually took 5 days or 10 days, right? Because a lyricist had to write it, someone had to compose it, then they had to sing it, they had to record it. Then the recorder has to bring it into a studio. The studio has to master it, edit it, put all the instrumentations together, and then give you like a rough track, and then give you like a formal track. It would take a week or 10 days, and it could take maybe 1,00,000 rupees also, right? If you have to think about it. And that means that the ability to bring text to audio is significant. So if you're a teacher, if you're a educator, if you're a school owner, if you're a manager, if you're a business person, if you're an entrepreneur, if you're a professional, if you're a mother, if you're a student, right? All these text to text, text to image, and text to audio was all not possible earlier, and it suddenly brings you so much power. And that is, I think, what you need to understand. And the next one is text to video. Imagine your ability, your capability, and your power that you right now have to be able to just type something and say, give me a video of a cat doing a break dance with Michael Jackson in the background, and then 10,000 people at the side, and the first row are like Rottweilers and Good Shepherds who are looking at this cat and just waiting to pounce on this cat. And you're like, how are you going to get that video, right? If you have to make that video, it would probably take you, a week and some 20 lakh rupees. I mean, Michael Jackson is not with us, right? So think about it, it's just unbelievable. So all that power is available to you, and I wish I can show you some examples of that if time permits in our session today. But I really want to show you what it is possible just for you to understand. So text to text, text to image, text to audio, text to video. These are the possibilities that generative AI can bring in, and the classroom possibilities are amazing, right? You can create visual resources, you can add audio elements, you can make your class alive. That Tare Zameen Pe, that teacher who came jumping up and down the class, you can literally take the classroom to the next level. So if you really understand in India, right, what's going on, the NEP 2020, the SQA, which is the School Quality Assessment and Assurance Framework, the Nipun Bharat, the FLN, which is the foundational literacy and numeracy project that the government is looking at, the CBSE now telling everyone should have 50 hours of workshops, which is brilliant, which is absolutely brilliant. These are all things that are changing in our educational system. And then because of all this change, none of us as educators, teachers, school leaders, principals had the experience of turning around a school. We don't understand anything about quality. We don't understand anything about FLN. We don't understand what to do in 50 hours of PD. We don't understand what the NEP 2020 document looks like. A 400-page document. We really have to read it and understand it, and then contextualize it in our case. And it's so difficult, right? Imagine now I would want to tell you all this is super easy, all this is super possible because of AI, and I will show you how AI could possibly be your assistant. You could use AI for school branding. I don't know how many of you here run schools or are also responsible to sell your school to parents. Arey, hamara school acha hai. You need to build a solid reputation. You need to go social. You need to communicate every day. And you will be in a position to use AI for all those activities as well. And that is something that I would like to show you and demonstrate to you. But before we go ahead, I would want to explain one very important thing. You see, there's this concept of SAMR, S-A-M-R. S stands for substitution, A stands for augmentation, M stands for modification, and R stands for redefinition. And really, what does that mean? What that means is that, whenever you're thinking of doing something new, and especially with technology, you will go through the SAMR model, the SAMR, the substitution, augmentation, modification, and redesign. Which means earlier, all of us bought very expensive whiteboards and interactive boards in our classrooms, right? And most of the time they have been used as a chalkboard. So we just substituted a really cost-effective 2,000 rupee chalkboard for a very expensive 2 lakh rupee whiteboard, an interactive board, and that is substitution. And most of the time, developing countries and economies, people stop only at substitution because parents see these interactive boards and they say, wow, 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 very good. It's all happening very well. Technology use ho raha hai hamare class mein, right? But actually, it is just substituting the whiteboard. You as a teacher, you need to understand that in India, our parents are happy with substitution. आपने उसको सब्स्टिट्यूट कर दिया, they are very happy because they think that substitution के आगे कुछ नहीं है. And what you need to understand is that as a teacher, as an educator, as a person of passion, and as a person of perseverance, and as a person of pedagogical significance and importance, you need to understand that you need to start with substitution so that you have got the parents on your side, and then you got to move to augmentation, modification, and redesign. Eventually your job is to redesign. It means doing things well, doing things better, and the most important thing is doing better things, right? So that is something that you need to think through. Give you an example that you can take a book and you give a digital book to a child. Instead of giving a normal book to a child, you can give a digital book to a child. And if you give a digital book to a child, then you have substituted a physical book with a digital book. That is an example of substitution. However, as a pedagogical person, we need to remember that if a physical book is available for a child, don't substitute what is physically available for a child, right? So you want to bring in things that is not available in the child's environment or within the child's reach, and make it accessible to a child. Okay, don't substitute what you already have. Now, taking the same example forward, what would augmentation look like? Augmentation would look like if you're able to bring a book to this child and you're able to then tell this child that, take this book, and you will see that each sentence has multiple words and each word will come on the screen. Okay, word 1, word 2, word 3, word 4, word 5. And why? That might help children who have problems with focus, who have problems with attention, who have problems with moving their eyes, right? Eye tracking and things like that. So now you have augmented technology as a book for the child to facilitate what learning, reading looks like for that child. Now that is something a parent may not understand. For a parent, वो बाहर से ऐसा झुक के देखता है and he sees, technology use हो रहा है, okay, very good. But whether it is used well or no, there's a big significant difference which a pedagogue will be able to understand. And all of us are pedagogues. The next way, how can you modify this process? For example, imagine if you're in a position to actually bring this digital book and give it to the child, and now if a child can click a dog and hear what the dog sounds like, or click a tiger and hear what a tiger sounds like, or click something and see a video of that, then you start seeing that you've been able to modify the learning experience. You've been able to create multi-modalities in that experience. Absolutely impossible for a child to have done it in the earlier case. That's a higher level of actually using and integrating technology in from a pedagogical perspective. And the last one is redesign. What if you're able to actually take that book, give it to the child, and then the child is able to change the outcome. Our child is able to co-create a story using an AI assistant and come up with a whole new story which still follows the principles of the science of reading. Imagine, right? Imagine you're able to use AI today and say the cat ran after the rat because you want to do CVC words or whatever, and you're doing these 3-letter words, but then all the time we're also teaching children that cats will always eat mice, cats and mice can never be friends, and and dogs and cats will always fight. And today if you see an Instagram post of a dog and a cat sitting together, you'll be like, wait, how is that possible? Like, dogs are always supposed to fight with every cat and cats are always supposed to fight with every dog. How is that possible? It's because we have picked up those associations very early in our lives when you and I were in school, right? But imagine if you go to ChatGPT and say, give me 20 sentences which are CVC, 3 words, and beginning of sentence formation and something that I want to give emergent readers, but create it in such a way that you're saying the cat and the rat sat on a mat, you know? And so you're building this idea of peace and harmony while you're teaching things like the science of reading. So it's very interesting, which you could not do earlier, but it is now possible because of AI's ability to help you with text to text, which means you put a text, give me this, follow these rules, and it threw out a text for you. Okay, that is something that I'd like you to know and understand. And as you move forward, you realize that there are so many other theories that help us understand this. According to Vygotsky, there is this concept called the zone of proximal development. And all of you who've done your B.Ed or have studied about education, you would have come across this idea of zone of proximal development, which actually means that there is a super sensitive time. And even Maria Montessori says that there is a sensitive period in a child's life where wo time pe wo सीखेगा. Right? Even your own children, you may realize, like, I was trying to put my child in music, but my child was never interested in music. Or I was trying to put my child in football and she was never interested in football. But suddenly one day, 8th standard, she became very interested towards football and started getting into football. You'll hear these stories because of the zone of proximal development. Obviously, it may not be really in 8th standard, but I'm just saying that there are sensitive periods in a child's life where a child suddenly jumps towards a particular subject or a particular topic and wants to learn that and master that. इतना internal motivation आ जाता है बच्चों में कि we get really like, वाह ये कहाँ से आया, and naturally we as parents take the credit for it. But the point is, when the child is in their zone of proximal development and a particular zone or a particular sensitive period, what has come through is that the support they get, the teachers they get, the inputs they get, the stimulation that they get during that period allows them to either grow in that topic or grow in that concept or छोड़ दिया उसको concept, right? So many times if I ask you, Shefali, why are you so good at mathematics and you're so good at logic and you're so good at, science, or you're so good at speaking and you have so much confidence, क्यों ऐसा क्यों हो गया? There's a possibility that Shefali might say, I had a friend, actually 7th standard तक मैं कभी मुंह नहीं खोला, 7th standard तक मैं बहुत डरी हुई थी, या 12th standard तक मैं बहुत डरी हुई थी, then I met a friend, then मेरा group change हो गया, and then I saw this and I saw that, I got inspired and I got motivated and I learned, right? So you realize the power of peer teaching. You realize the power of coaching. There are so many times that ये बच्चा fail हो रहा है sir, 10th में fail हो रहा है, मुझे आपके पास tuition लाना है. And after that the child develops and blooms and does amazing things. And parents say, ये मेरा ही बच्चा है, मुझे नहीं पता था. Where does all these things come from? Because the teacher, the educator, the supporter, the person who supported the child during that time was phenomenal, used a lot of skills and really brought and really was able to extract these abilities or draw out these abilities from that child. So my question here is, what is AI then in education? Well, maybe AI now becomes the support in the zone of in the zone of proximal development. The support may not necessarily be only that wonderful student and that peer or only that wonderful teacher, but now might also be AI. And I would love to give you some examples of that as well. I'm rushing through my presentation so that we can really sit down and look and do some hands-on activities. So this too shall pass. Bear through it, power through it, okay? There are so many creative applications that AI can help you do, and especially with music and with art. And you can use WhatsApp as your AI assistant to help you, like, literally have an executive secretary. You can use AI to make music. Music brings learning, makes learning come alive inside your classroom. And it was literally impossible. You see, you and I today, right? If I ask you, what was your favorite subject in class? And chances are you'll say PT period. Or chances are you'll say music period. Or chances are you'll say like swimming period. Yeah, that, our generation, that was the favorite period, right? But today, using AI, every single teacher has an equal opportunity to be able to become the child's favorite class, because AI will now allow teachers to do all these wonderful things. And I want to show you. Someone tell me to stop talking and start showing you things. So as a school, as a teacher, as a principal, as an educator, as a parent, what can you do to start bringing AI into your school? You got to literally start upskilling your teachers. You have to upskill your teachers. Most of the reports are saying that 10 times the number of students are using AI rather than teachers, right? And the other problem is, a student comes with natural curiosity. If I show a student a tool, that child is going to spend the next 6 months on that tool, and he'll come back to me and he'll say, sir, ye maine kiya. And I'm like, kaise kiya? And I'm like, and the child is going to say, I did it with this tool. And I'm like, impossible, it doesn't happen. And right? My daughter made an app on Lovable to solve some problem. And I was like, how did you do it? Because I saw Lovable, I know what Lovable does, I didn't really try it. So, somebody told me, I went for a wedding and we were asked to dance, and I have a problem dancing. And so my wife came up to me and said, Willie, I want you to dance. And I was like, yeah, I'm dancing, my dimag mein naach raha hu. And that's when I realized that as adults, most of the time hum dimag mein sab kuch karte hain. We do everything in our mind. We live in our heads. And so even if I tell you ChatGPT pe ye hota hai, you'll be like, हाँ ChatGPT pe ye hota hai, and you'll probably go and talk to 50 people and say ChatGPT pe ye hota hai, but you will never really try it. So what you need to do is just taking one workshop with your teachers, or if your teachers come back and tell you, yes, we know ChatGPT, yes, we know AI, yes, hum use kar rahe hain AI. It is like the biggest lie, or the most frequently said lie in the world. And in the world of education, the most frequently lied phrase in the world is, when I ask you a question, did you understand? And most of the time, 100% of people say, yes, we understood. Right? So you, as a principal and as a teacher and as an educational manager, your job is to be able to get into the classroom. Thanks for the humor, Abhishek Goel. And your job is to get into the whole system and get your teachers to change their mindset towards technology, change their mindset towards AI, and get them to start experimenting. And they will fail, they will falter, they will come short, their quality will not be excellent, right? And that's where the leadership of the institution should be able to give them that safety net, should be able to give them that ability to say, chalta hai, theek hai, if it doesn't work, not chalta hai, but it's okay if it doesn't work, let's sit down and see how we can make it better. Let's try and see if we can change your prompt. Let's try and see if we can help you do some context engineering a little better. Let's understand this tool. Let's find other people who've been able to actually use this tool and they're doing it really, really well. So these are all the things that, as a principal principal, as a management, you are in a position to do. Only then will people in your team start learning and start using AI really well. Don't think that one workshop that you take is going to make a big difference to your life, and don't think that just asking your teacher, are you using AI, that they are now going to give you an answer which is what you are looking for. So think through that. Now, AI can give you literacy support in the terms of using voice features in literacy support, and I would love to show you how it is. Use the chat box right now. Use the chat box right now and tell me, how are you feeling over the past 30 minutes, and what are the thoughts, and do you want me to quickly jump into the into demos so that we can all try and get to the demos? What are you feeling right now? Use the chat box, tell me, and I'm also putting the chat the link to the chat so that you can click that, or you can copy that as well, and let me know what you are feeling. Okay, so I've got a feel of the room, and I understand that you want to jump into a couple of quick, examples. So let me see if I can bring my screen to you and try and show you some examples, and I will send this presentation to the group, and Sar will send you all the presentations as well. Let me see if we can quickly do something on the WhatsApp group, and I want to show you some amazing possibilities. Let me see if I can bring my screen, or better still, let me see if I can bring my phone. Okay, here's my phone. And I can bring in my WhatsApp here, and you can now see my phone on the screen, right? It's cool, right? Now imagine everyone stop typing on this WhatsApp group, and I want to show you something that we can do. @Meta AI. Okay, so @Meta AI, and I'm able to actually tell Meta lots of different things, right? So I can tell Meta something like, be my assistant, okay, be my assistant. This is the fee dues from my students, okay? Yeah, Anil 500, CK 600, Shefali 100, Dara 800, okay? Now I'm saying, remember this and help me. Okay, so I've actually sent a message to Meta, and you can see it on your group, saying that these are my students and these are my fee defaults. Okay, now I can actually ask things like, hey Meta, I can actually tell Meta, Anil just paid me 200 rupees. Okay, and now it is going back to the data and saying Anil first had a balance of 500, and now 200 is minus and 300. Now I can say, hey Meta, okay, write a WhatsApp message for Anil requesting the fee dues, okay, and give information on what we had, and make the message in Hindi and make it positive. So what I'm doing here is Meta is now going back, getting the information from from the system, and being able to actually give me information. Yeah, give me updated fee records and balances for my students. Yeah, and it's actually going to go back and give me updated that I got fees from we got this fees from Anil and things like that. So Meta is actually able to help you even remember things. Yeah, you're going to do some shopping, you're actually able to remember things, you're able to send it to Meta, and Meta is going to be able to think about it. Now, for example, I can go to Meta and type something like, okay, over the next 15 minutes, okay, every minute, send me a positive and motivational quote. So I've told Meta that over the next 15 minutes, every minute, send me a positive and motivational quote. And now it has sent me, believe you can, and you are halfway there. Now let's hope that every 15 minutes, every minute for the next 15 minutes, I will get a motivational quote, and all of us will get a motivational quote over here. Now see, I can do another thing. Hey Meta, see what's this? Hey Meta, I am, okay, I am an educator. I am an educator. I want to learn about AI in education. Okay, send me a 1 minute reading material every hour today for the next, what is the time now? For the next 12 hours. Okay, the reading material needs to be simple. Start with the basic and slowly help me learn more by tonight. Look, now every hour Meta is going to send me a small reading report about AI in education every hour from 11 o'clock, 12 o'clock, 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock. By 12 o'clock tonight, by 10 o'clock tonight, you would have learned much more about AI in education than you know right now. And how did you do it? You used meta.ai to be able, and on your phone, to be able to help you learn, and that has become your teacher, and you will see that as you grow. I am also then able to go to meta.ai and ask a question. I can say set up a meeting with these 5 people. Meta will create a new group on WhatsApp, invite those 5 people, set the time, and get you to have a meeting with them. This is like having a assistant with you all the time. So think about it and how powerful it is, right? You can ask Meta, create an image of India Gate in Delhi and have 15 school students getting out of a bus in front of it. It's evening time, the flowers are blooming, and the sky is golden and dramatic. See that? And I've put it on Meta right now, and let's see if Meta is able to generate that image for us, which now means that we have a text to text, a text to image creator inside our phones, all for free, and you're able to see that. If you can create some meta images, go for it. Create some meta images. It'll be really, really nice for us to see that. You can also ask Meta, act like my teacher. Ask me 5 questions about the NEP. Okay, wait for my response. Make it MCQ. Give me a statement about the answer, and then ask me another one. Personalize it for me so that I can get an understanding of this topic. So what have I done is I have converted Meta to become my personalized educator. Imagine your children, yeah? Imagine your children could, yeah, someone's put an amazing prompt saying that draw and label this, someone's done that, right? Please do some sample of STEM projects under making of 20 rupees. Wow, lovely, right? So you're able to use Meta as your tutor, as your supporter, as your educator, as your tester. So many things are possible. One of the things I always tell people is, when we are dealing with AI in education, don't just think that AI has a screen, because parents may say screen time, screen time, screen time. One of the things I want to let you know about this is, it's never really about the screen that affects the eye. What I think, it's probably the distance. Because human beings, as we evolved over time, we would rather see a tiger or an elephant or a cheetah or somebody, 2 kilometers away or 1 kilometer away, rather than when it is right here, right? Because when it is here, it is bad news. So the point that I'm trying to make is, maybe human beings have evolved their eyesight for long distance rather than short distance, which means whether it is a screen, a book, or anything that I see from a short distance for a long period of time, that might affect my eye. So the idea has to be not just screen time, but the idea has to be tool time. Yeah, because when your children are growing up, you tell your children, if you study well, or if you pay attention, or if you if you listen to mommy and daddy, we will give you the tablet and then you can play games. Which means right from the start, children are building this understanding that tablet matlab games, tablet matlab video, or computers means games, computers means fun. That association gets built. You have to move that association to try and see if you can say tablet means learning, tablet means expansion, computers means tool time. Using this as a tool to learn, to grow, and to build your, and to build your life. So that is something that we would like to share. I'm seeing some amazing things that you guys are doing on Meta. Give me a real world problem to solve for 10. You can even tell Meta things like, create a worksheet for me with 2 flowers and make it a spot the difference in the flowers activity and ensure there are 12 differences. Look at that, right? You're telling Meta, make a worksheet for me, give me 2 flowers in the worksheet, but there has to be a spot the difference worksheet. And in each worksheet, in this difference, there has to be something like 12 flowers or something like that. So it's actually possible for Meta to create the worksheet. I think because we are a lot of people using it, it may not happen. But that is a huge possibility of you being able to create a worksheet. Now think about this. Go to ChatGPT, create a worksheet with 2 flowers and have the child grade 1 spot the difference. Have 12, have, let's say, 5 differences. Make it in color. And let's see, maybe ChatGPT is actually in a position to create this worksheet. And if it does, you actually now found a phenomenal worksheet designer, right? Imagine going to Ideogram and saying, create a poster for my school today. It's the Founders Day. The founder's name is Ravi. Okay. He loves he loves cupcakes. Yeah, I'm guessing that's a cool thing. He loves cupcakes and traveling to foreign countries and cats. Okay. Make a banner. No, make a poster that we can share with him. And the message is, we love you, sir. Okay. And I can just hit generate and let's see what happens. Like, is that a possibility? And you're actually seeing below that it's already started working on it. In the background, we were working on ChatGPT, and ChatGPT has created this worksheet for us, which says spot the difference, right? And that is beautiful, right? Because now you are able to say that I want to create a worksheet which has 10 differences, 15 differences, difficult differences, differences in color, differences in size, slight differences. And you know why we are actually doing this? Because children need to develop this skill of learning to see differences. Visual differences and discrimination is very powerful skill that children need to do. And as a teacher, you are now in a position to be able to do that, right? Because earlier you couldn't do it. You had to first think of differences. And the problem as adults is we are not naturally people who think big picture. We are naturally people who think small difference details. So it's very difficult for us to do it. So this is one such example of doing that. In the meanwhile, I hope Ideogram has come up with something. Yeah, there's a cat, there is Ravi, there is travel, there is cupcakes, and it says, "We love you, sir." Okay, so this is pretty cool. Here's another one. Founders Day poster. Here's another one. Founders Day poster. Here's another one. Founders Day poster. I mean, think about all the amazing things that you will be in a position to do, right? Imagine if we go to, if we go to this and say, our founder is Ravi. He loves traveling, cupcakes, okay, cats, and runs a school called Little Flower. Okay, make a fun song about him for Founders Day. That's it. So I've asked ChatGPT to make it, and I'm not going to spend too much time on this, but I just want to show you what really is possible. And you can even ask, you can even ask Meta to make the song for you, right? So you don't necessarily have to ask only ChatGPT, right? You can ask Meta. Oh, okay. Sorry about this. This should be set up. Okay. And let's see if that's come through. Yeah, we have a song here. We copy it, and we can go to every time the new models, not right now. I'm going to custom. I'm adding my lyrics here. Okay. And I go up here. I delete this first part. I say, mix with spoken word, energetic, use Indian instruments, okay, like tabla, sitar, flute, yeah, and more. Make it fun, yeah, female vocals, yeah, that's it, okay. And I'm saying Ravi song, and I'm hitting create. So imagine, like, as a teacher, if you want to bring children to the awareness of certain kind of musical instruments, you can actually create now saying, I want this musical instrument only, I want tabla only, or I want a violin only, or I want a cello only. It was impossible for you to do. Imagine now, as you can see, this is text to audio, text to song, or text to audio, right? This is an example of that. And we have Ravi song here. Let's see how that plays. Can you hear it? Can you hear?
Who's that guy with the cupcake smile? Travels the world in joyful style. Loves his cats and loves to play. He's the reason we're here today. Who that's his name. Little Flowers Hall of Fame. Oh, Ravi, Ravi, hip hooray, we celebrate you today with cupcakes, cats, and learning too. We're growing strong.
All right, so you got an idea of how you could
to sunny shores. He brings back stories.
Play
and
this,
more. But his
how you could
pleasure
create
is
songs,
a little fun
and not just
you.
songs, you can even create poetry, right? Make it a poem in spoken word, yeah? And it can actually do it as a spoken word poetry as well, not just songs. So imagine how children are able to now start getting practice, learning how to give speeches and things like that. It's really, really cool. Spoken word example.
Avi and bouncy, fake preschool kid show style. Who's that guy with a cupcake smile? Travels the world in joyful style. Loves his cats and loves to play. He's the reason we're here.
Okay, so I'm sure you got an idea about that. I shall also put that in the group again for you to be able to see and for you to be able to understand. But really, these are some of the amazing possibilities, and there's so much more, right? I don't want to, I think this is great for you guys to start thinking through about how you can use all these tools and how you can really bring pedagogy first approach and not have to wait and depend upon people. Oh, designer ye karega, wo ye karega, wo ye karega. I think today you are in a position to be that person and really do so much more. I now know that there are 5 minutes for this session, and I want to bring this up for any questions and answers or any responses that you may have from whatever you've seen today. Over to you, Shafali.
Willie, sir, if you can just give an example for text to video as well for them. Text to video as well for them because it needs text to text.
Yes, sure. So text to video is pretty crazy because it takes more time. But for those of you who'd like to try this on your own, at least we should be able to show you how that is possible. Go to this tool called Sora. Sora is inside of ChatGPT. So when you go to ChatGPT, on top, you will see Sora. Yeah. And you can literally create videos inside of Sora. So I can show you some of the videos that we made. So yesterday, I did a session in which I was telling people that why don't you use CVC words about cat and mice together sitting on a mat rather than cat runs out of the mat or cat eats mice, right? So we can probably come up with nice, amazing things such as cat sitting on, and then promoting harmony and things like that. So you're now, I asked it to create a image of a cat and a mouse sitting together in front of Gateway of India, and it created it. And now I can just say create a video, and it will actually end up creating a video, okay, for this particular thing. So that is one option for you to create videos. Another example is here. I think this was in a workshop that we did together where we were trying to create a t-shirt, and we created a t-shirt in ChatGPT, and then we brought it to Sora and we said, make a teacher wear this t-shirt and walk down a school passage, and then it created that video. There are lots of tools like Pika, there are tools like Sora, there are tools like Google VO3, which has not yet been launched in India. There are tools like Kling, Kling. I'll put all these tools in the chat box for you. But guys, the first thing that I always tell everybody, yeah, and that is a problem that I've noticed, okay? And please, मैं हाथ जोड़ के आपको बोल रहा हूँ कि the first 10, 20, 30 times you try to use a tool, you will not get the answer that you feel. So please don't judge the tool. Just motivate yourself and say, ho jayega. I need to learn to make it better. Because the first time you use a tool and you don't get the response that you want, you may blame the tool. It's like saying, I throw the baby with the bath water. ऐसा मत करो, right? Know that the tool is powerful. Know that इससे होता है, and slowly put yourself on that growth path. That is how you'll be able to learn and you'll be able to grow. Okay. Mr. Abhishek, I hope that that should be sufficient. Otherwise, it takes a long time.
Yeah. Thank you so much. I just want to give them a little
for us to build. This thing. Yeah. Thank you.
No, no, no.
Yes.
It was lovely, Billy, because would you be able to share a few apps or things
Yeah,
with
thank
us
you.
after
Thank
the
you so much.
session? Maybe it was lovely, Billy, because would you be able to share a few apps or things with us after the
Absolutely.
Am I audible?
Yes, I will definitely send you things, and I'll take some time, but today some definitely we'll send some things. No, absolutely. And if more people want workshops online, maybe SAR can look at doing something more like long, like one full day or something online. If you like the quality at which we've been able to, the SAR team and myself, if you like the quality at which we've been able to develop or deliver this program for you, then we can also do a one full day with SAR, and we can really get deep into how we can use AI and everything. Yeah. So I leave it up to you and the audience to decide.
No, sorry, we will plan something because honestly, one session wasn't enough, and dil mange more. More.
Thank
so,
you.
so they say a tool is only as powerful as the hands that use it. And today, you reminded us just how true is that, especially when it comes to AI in education. Thank you for introducing us to the world of Meta AI. That's amazing. And because we've got back-to-back sessions, we would not take much of your time, and really want to thank you from deep heart from all of us, especially from SAR Education, all the audience that have joined. So we had approximately 600 participants today. And we will surely plan a 1 day long session with you because we need to learn. And for that, we need some hands on practice with you. So we will surely plan very soon. And once again, thank you so much. And now we're all set to continue the inspiration. And at 11:15 a.m. IST, we are heading to Australia for a beautiful session with Faye Berryman, co-founder of Fitzroy Community School. She'll be speaking to us upon cultivating confidence and curiosity in our learners. And it's going to be a warm session. Thank you so much, Willie.
Yeah,
I have one thing to share, just one thing. And since you have so many people on this group right now, I want to show you something what AI could look like in the future if you want to see. Okay, are you guys excited? I want to show you
Yes.
what AI could possibly look like in the future. We think that AI only has screens, but your children in pre-primary can start using AI on the Amazon, on the Echo Dot, right? Because my daughter does not do her homework without this. She asks, okay, what is 3 plus 2? 3 plus 2 is 5. Is that correct? How do I do this and how do I do that? That is one way. And the latest thing that she's using nowadays is AI like this. This is AI glasses. Yeah, I can wear these glasses and I can take a photograph if I want. I can wear these glasses and ask, what am I looking at? And it tells me here, there is a speaker here, it tells me here. The Meta AI that you're using in your WhatsApp is actually on these glasses, and I'm able to actually use it, and I'm able to look at a sum and say, how do I solve it? What is important in this? Give me step-by-step guidance. It's able to. I watch my daughter use this almost every day when she's walking around. She's like, oh, what flower is this? She says, hey Meta, what flower is this? So it took a photo and then it's going to do it. So this is how AI is going to come into all our lives. Hey, I see Mr. Abhishek Goyal using the same. Awesome, amazing. So, you don't have to learn the coding, but you could actually use Meta glasses to make your life easy. Abhishek, you should share 1 minute story about your Meta glasses. You're on mute.
Yeah, so I'm sorry, like it's all over the place, the WhatsApp and all ringing. So it has been amazing tool. So I bought it last year in April. So it was not released in India, in Europe. Yeah. I was using for the clicking the picture.
Yeah, go on. You're visible.
Is there a network?
Go on.
So I use them. So it's being an amazing tool. So it's for I don't know. It's maybe for 35,000 in Indian rupees. So I strongly recommend them. You can listen to the music. Though I'm using the Chat GPT and all things as a toy and using this as a toy, I need to learn more from you how to use it well.
All right. Cheers, everybody. And thank you, Mr. Abhishek, for doing what you're doing, because you're bringing in so much accessibility, especially at a time when all these courses and knowledge is so expensive and people do not know how to go and learn. You're bringing in amazing people across the world to make sure that your teachers and our teachers and the teachers of this country are going to grow and develop. Even a small spark that you've ignited in them can grow into a raging fire. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you. Fantastic for everybody. It's like awesome session. Thank you, Willie. Thank you
Thank
so much.
you.